Jai Saparika Sisi Guru Goranga Radha Shama Sundar Giridhari Jihu Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sri Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bhagya Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Brinda Ki Jai, Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai, Samadvaita Vaishnava Mandali Ki Jai, Kol Kartel Ki Jai, Sri Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai, Nitai Gaura Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. So, we are broadcasting live from the East London Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Math, 466 Green Street. Yesterday was the appearance festival of Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj, and so today a smaller gathering today. Krishna taught in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna that the most important aspect of Krishna Bhakti is seva, serving mentality. First of all, we have to understand what is the necessity for that. In a sense, it seems to be an absurdity that God would require service from us if He's fully self-sufficient, omniscient, omnipotent, and so on, and always self-satisfied. It is a fact. But it is also a fact that without the serving mentality, we have no actual connection with the divinity. It will only be a self-indulgent self-deception, because God is not, for our benefit, you can say, is not our order supplier. Of course, he is, but that is not His only function, and certainly not His primary function. The Lord exists for Himself and by Himself, to fulfill His own purpose, and with no other to rival Him. And as we are His created parts and parcels, we are also meant for Him. And realization or acceptance of that is the beginning of real spiritual life. Without that acceptance, there is no spiritual life. There may be religious life, but religion and spirituality are not exactly the same thing. Religion is dharma, artha, kama, moksha. And in every religion, not just Hindu religion, Muslim religion, Christian religion, Jewish religion, all religion, they all practice dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Maybe they don't use those words, those are Sanskrit words, but every religion teaches this same idea, that if you do your religious duty, then God will be pleased with you. And so that's your dharma. Everybody can say their dharma. Loosely translated, dharma can mean religion. And as a result of performing one's dharma, one gets artha. Artha means prosperity. And when you have prosperity, then you can have kama. Not karma with an R, but kama. Kama means pleasure, sensual pleasure, enjoyment. You can enjoy life, So if you're religious and God is pleased with you, then you'll be prosperous and you can enjoy life. And then finally, moksha. Then finally you will get liberation from the world, or depending on whatever your particular religious idea is. You'll go to heaven, or you will get some freedom from the material world. Now that is religion. Every religion teaches that in one form or another. But right at the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, that is cancelled. And Devashis calls that as Kaitabya Dharma. Kaitabya means cheating. So that is a cheating religion because it does not fulfill the purpose of the soul, or the reason for existence. God did not create us just to, go up and down and around in this material world. We have some inner purpose. And that inner purpose has nothing to do with the temporary things of this material world. That is our Shradharma, eternal purpose, or as in Vaishnav theology, that is termed as Jaiva Dharma. Jaiva Dharma means the religion of the soul, the Jaiva, the Jiva. Sanatana Goswami asked Mahaprabhu Chaitanya Dev, Ki ami? This was when they met. First time, this was his question. Ki ami? Who am I? And why am I suffering in this material world? And and first of all, we should understand that Sanatana Goswami is not an ignorant man. He is a great pandit and scholar and devotee of the Lord. So he knows the answer to that question, but from Mahaprabhu's lips, he wants to hear that. What is Mahaprabhu's reply? And for our benefit, he's asking that question. So it's not a specific question to him, but is a question for all of us. If you are genuinely interested in spiritual life, at some point in your life, this question must come to you. Why am I here? What am I doing here? What's this life all about? What's the purpose? What's it for? Or simply, who am I? So you can say a kind of existential crisis of identity. And Mahaprabhu's reply is very famous. Jivara Swarupa hoy Nityara Krishna Das, Krishnara Tatasta Shakti Beda Bed Prakash. There, within that, everything, you can say, the philosophy of Krishna consciousness, you can say, is in that reply. Jivara, you are the Jiva, you are the spiritual spark. Within each and every one of us, there is a spiritual spark. That is called the Jiva. Jivara Swarupa hoy. Swarup means the form or constitution. So what is the constitution of the Jiva? Jivara Swarupa hoy Nityara Krishna Das. You are the eternal servant of Krishna. And not just Sanatan, because he's a devotee, right? But not just him. Everyone. It is not that just Krishna is one of many gods. He's not just one of the 33 million gods of the Hindu pantheon, or just the 8th avatar of Vishnu. No. Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. In the 2nd canto of Srimad Bhagavat, Devashis confirms this, that Krishna, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is also confirmed by Brahmaji, the engineer, if you like, of this material world, the 4-headed lord of the material world, Brahma. And in his prayers to the Lord, there's composed 100 chapters of Brahma Samhita. In the world today, only existing one chapter of that. That is the 5th chapter, but there are 100 chapters. But Mahaprabhu discovered in South India, the 5th chapter, and the first verse of the 5th chapter of Brahma Samhita, the prayers, the hymns composed by Lord Brahma. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. So he's praying, Ishvara Parama Krishna, that Krishna, he is the Parameshvara, the supreme controller and enjoyer of everything. Satchit Ananda Vigraha, and he is the very embodiment of truth, consciousness and bliss. Satchit Ananda. Anade Adir Govinda, he is the original cowherd boy of Vrindavan. Sarva Karana Karanam. Karana Karanam means the cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karanam, he is the cause of all causes. That means he is also the cause of Narayan, Vishnu. Vishnu is his expansion. And all of the gods and goddesses are all subservient to him. So when Sanatana Goswami says Nityara Krishna Das, that is a universal truth, that everyone is the eternal servant of Lord Krishna, whether they realize that or not. And Krishnera Tatasta Shakti, and you have come from Krishna's Tatasta Shakti. Tata means margin. So there are different potencies of the Lord. The Chit Shakti, the spiritual potency, the Jada Shakti, which is this mundane world of inanimate matter, and the Tatasta Shakti, which is between the two. And the Jiva originates in that Tata, that Tatasta. So that means the marginal position between matter and spirit. This is where the Jiva comes from. And that means that we are inherently adaptable to either the spiritual world or the material world. So those who are spontaneously drawn to Lord Krishna and his various expansions, they automatically they go to live eternally in the Vaikuntha Dham. And those who are most fortunate in the Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan Dham, which is the very center of Vaikuntha. And then those of us, as we are those, we are attracted by the glitter, if you like, of this mundane world. And therefore we come to the mundane world. And we are adaptable to this mundane world, but we have to wear a suit to come here. Just like if you're, in space, you can't just open the capsule and walk out because you'll be dead in a moment. You have to put on a big suit, isn't it? You have to put on this big spacesuit, and that's tethered to the ship, and then you can go out and do the walk in space outside. So similarly, before we're able to come to this mundane world, we have to take on a suit. And this is this flesh suit that we live in. It's made of the elements of this world: earth, water, air, fire, ether, and so on. And mind, mind intelligence, and ahankara. It's like the spaceship spacesuit that we occupy, so that we can move around in this material world. But part of that is the Maya Shakti, that makes us think that we are that suit, that suit is who we are. Once when I was a bit younger, when I was just going to my office at work, and I parked my car up on the curb, and I hit this other car that was already parked there. Or actually he was reversing, I was going forward. Hit his car. My car was an old banger, and his car was like a vintage car, like very expensive car. And he jumped out of the car and he ran up very angry and he said, "You hit me! You hit me!" And I said, I'm sorry, but did I hit you? Are you that car? Is that you? Or are you? And he said, like, don't be funny, mate, but you see that instinctively he's identifying with his car because he values it above everything else, You hit me. He didn't say you hit my car, you hit me. So we're the same. We're thinking that this flesh and blood and bones and all the ideas and things that go around in our head, that's us. And we identify with that, even more than the man in his car. We're thinking that that's us. That is called Maya. Maya means illusion, that which is not. That we're accepting falsehood to be reality. And what's the proof of that, right? In Gita, Krishna says, the wise, they have concluded that which doesn't last has no real existence. And that which is eternal has no cessation. So this is the difference between Maya, illusion, and reality. Maya is just a temporary thing. Everything that we are, within 50 years from now, will be finished for most of us. It will be gone. It'll be dust. It'll be ashes. It'll be buried in the ground, or it'll be burnt. Or it'll be the food of worms and insects. In any case, we'll have gone. We'll have moved on. And there'll be no physical traces of us anymore. So that's Maya. That means that because it has no permanent existence, then the wise would say that it doesn't really exist. It's not to say that, it's an illusion, like just something in our head. It's real as anything in this world, but it's only temporary. So we shouldn't give so much attention to that which is temporary, that which will be gone tomorrow. Lord Jesus said, don't store your wealth where moth and rust will corrupt it, but rather store your wealth in the house of the Lord. So that means, who you are. You should not identify with the things of this material world. Try not to identify with that. It is easy to say, but not so easy to do. Because the part of that is what protects us in this material world. If we were completely aloof and detached from that, and we see our child walking in front of the bus, we'd be like, well, it's not real anyway, bang. But because we have some identification with that, we'll rescue our child before they step out in front of the bus. So it has some purpose for us to, otherwise we'd be living in a completely chaotic environment. So again, we want to quote Lord Jesus. He said, you should be in the world but not of the world. So we have to live in this material world. We have to move here and there. We have to interact with other people. We have to earn some money. We have to, all the things that we have to do in this world. But we should be a little detached from that, because we should know that is not real. It is not real. And any moment it can be finished. Otherwise we're just setting ourselves up for a lot of pain. Because everything in this world will die. Everyone we know will die. Our mother, our father, our children, our husband, our wife, our everyone, they'll die. Or we'll die. But death will separate us at some point. So then we should be prepared for that. We should know that to be a truth. This is true whether you're religious or whether you're an atheist. There's no difference. Everybody knows that. Nobody gets out alive. Everybody loses their body and the body of those that they love in this material world. It's a fact. It's just a fact of life. Someone that you are deeply in love with, and maybe been married to them for 50 years. But as soon as the spirit leaves that person, you can't bear to be in the room with them for more than a few minutes. Get them out. Call the undertaker. Get them out. You don't put them in the chair by the fire in the living room and bring them cups of tea and things. That would be up the the response of an insane person, isn't it? But that very thing that you loved with all your heart, now it's a horrible thing. So because instinctively that's not the person, that's not that person. That was the body where they dwelled for some time. But if you have no deeper vision, then how heartbreaking that will be. It will be heartbreaking because that person you loved is gone and you do not know where they are. You cannot speak with them anymore. You cannot find out anything about them. Where have they gone? No idea. And no one can tell you. Then that is difficult enough. But if you're thinking that they were only that lump of flesh, that was all that they were, then how intolerable that must be. The same, my aunt, my great aunt, when her husband died, for like 10 years afterwards, she used to put a plate, lay at the table for him every night for his dinner, as if he was still there. And gradually she also died of a broken heart. But because it is extremely painful, that type of separation. But that can be less if we have knowledge of the soul. Then we know that the soul is never born and never dies. The soul always just moving from one body to another. And although that we are not able to see that with our flesh eye, we do not know from where and to where they are going. We can know that they exist. No one ever dies, in fact. Only the body dies. So they are gone to another place. Just like if your relative moves to Australia and you never see them again in your life. They still exist. So it is maybe painful, but not so painful. So same thing. In this material world, we go life after life after life somewhere. And at least we should understand that. But that's called samsara. That again and again and again, we are born, we are die. We born, we die. It's like there's no end to that. Then how to become free of that? Because is that what all we're meant to do? Is that why we were created? Just to go round and round and round on the wheel of samsara? No. We are meant for something else. So in the scripture it is told that not just Krishna, but all living beings are Satchidananda in their spiritual essence. That means all are eternal, all are conscious, and all are meant for Anandam, for bliss. And this is what the beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us, that beyond Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, there's a fifth end of life, and that is Anandam. Anandam, that is the fulfillment of our existence. What kind of Anandam? Krishna Prema. Krishna Prema. And Krishna Prema is our birthright, and the very reason that we exist. Krishna Prema. And Krishna Prema can only be attained through service to the Lord. And service to the Lord necessarily means service to his devotee. Tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekyanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshana. Krishna tells Arjuna this. This is the same thing, right? Like Sanatana Goswami is speaking for us, Arjuna is speaking for us. And Krishna is replying to us in Bhagavad Gita, teaching us what we should do. Krishna is directly there as Arjuna's spiritual master, isn't it? He's directly instructing him. But what does he tell him? Approach a spiritual master with one pointed devotion, pranipat. And pariprashna means inquire submissively from him. And sevaya, do and render service to him. He will be able to teach you the truth because he is already, you can say, living within the truth, within the plane of truth. He is living. So why would Krishna say that to Arjuna when he's already directly Arjuna's spiritual master? But he's telling him, this is the method by which we do it. We must find a spiritual master. Anyone who is serious about spiritual life, they must find a spiritual master and surrender to them. And then, that means with, pranipad means with exclusive regard. And pariprashna means with relevant inquiry. Not just, trying to quench our inquisitive nature. Oh, what's this about? What's that about? What's, every little thing in the world. No, that is not proper. Our Guru Maharaj, Om Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Maharaj, when I studied with him, under him, back in the 1980s, then one of my godbrothers, he asked Guru Maharaj a question. Can you please explain to us, the 10 subject matters of Srimad Bhagavatam? Then Guru Maharaj replied to him, I do not consider that this is an appropriate question for you to ask your spiritual master. Oh, but the Srimad Bhagavatam teaches 10 different subject matters. Surely that's an appropriate question. No, because from Guru Maharaj's perspective, he was saying to his disciple, if I tell you that, how will that benefit you? From where you are now, you may know all that intellectual things that is there, and you may be able to give a very fancy explanation to people, and people may scratch their head and go psh when they hear what you have to say. But as far as your actual spiritual progress, how will that be helpful to you from where you are now? So then Guru Maharaj said, so first you have to learn what is a proper question to ask your spiritual master. Now this is pariprashna. What is appropriate? And the appropriate question, it must be in the line of, first of all, we must understand that we are here, firmly ensconced in this material world, and we want to go there, to the spiritual world. Of course, this is for illustration purposes only, because the spiritual world is not there. It is within you, but we understand, right? We are here, it is there, very high above our head. So, and we want to go there. So our question must be, how do I progress from where I am now to there? And that may be phrased in many ways and may have many nuances to that. But that will be pariprashna, proper inquiry, relevant inquiry. One of our, again when I was with Guru Maharaj, one of our friends who was visiting Guru Maharaj, he was writing a book. He said, I'm writing a book, and this is the subject matter of the book, and he's asking, some kind of quasi-spiritual subject matter, and he's asking Guru Maharaj many questions, particularly questions about Christ and Christianity, like from the perspective of the Vaishnava's teachings. So he's asking, and Guru Maharaj giving very nice answers, but again and again, like for days, he's asking this question. And then finally, Guru Maharaj said to him, your questions are like straw to me. And he was like a little shocked, Oh, all these days you've been giving such wonderful... He didn't say that, but we can understand he's thinking. You've been giving such wonderful answers and, patiently indulging me. And now you're saying, those questions are like straw. And maybe Guru Maharaj could understand, I've said something a little harsh to him, and maybe he's feeling a little bad about that now. Then Guru Maharaj said in a light-hearted way, of course, straw is also food for some. And then, everybody laughed, and then Guru Maharaj said, but not for everyone. And another time, a different person, but another time when someone was asking Guru Maharaj incessantly many questions, then finally Guru Maharaj said, "I'm not an inquiry booth. You know, that's not my purpose, that you just come and demand answers to every question that pops into your head. I'm not an inquiry booth." So, it's a serious thing. It's like, if you're studying something, I don't know, let's say you're studying medicine, and you're going to the university, and you're going to the lecture, and you have some professor there on a particular type of medicine, or that's relevant to you, to getting your degree or whatever it is you're studying for. And when he says any questions, and you ask him, like, "Did you see the football match on Saturday? And what did you think about this player?" And it's nothing to do with why he's there. Maybe he's interested in that. We don't know. But in other words, you're actually, it's a wasted opportunity, isn't it? To ask a professor about something that you're meant to be studying, about something completely disconnected from that, or only slightly connected to that.
But some people go to test Guru.
Yeah, that's also true.
That's why they ask questions that, is he giving the right answer or not?
Yeah, and that's okay also. Well, when you are trying to find who is my guru, you can question your guru in that way.
Yeah.
But once you've accepted, then that's not allowed anymore.
No, but for confirmation sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes for confirmation.
Is it matching with my idea?
And that's another thing. But that would be a relevant question, isn't it? If it's in the right line. So it's not that we cannot ask any question, but our question should be framed in such a way that it will benefit us and will also benefit him. And I saw many times that people would ask Guru Maharaj a question, and when Guru Maharaj would reply, the answer was nothing to do with the question. It was something else completely.
Maybe hidden answer.
Yeah, maybe hidden answer. But sometimes Guru Maharaj knows what does that person actually want to say.
But sometimes we forget when we go to Guru that he knows us.
Yes.
He knows his devotee, isn't he?
Yes.
So, what kind of level we are.
That happened once to me, actually, with Guru Maharaj. You can say almost by accident. That one devotee, he came to see Guru Maharaj, and he was studying for a PhD, and he came to see Guru Maharaj. He asked Guru Maharaj. It was very, only few people there, and nobody recorded the conversation, which was a pity because it was very wonderful. Then he told to Guru Maharaj, "Oh, I am studying my PhD thesis," and Guru Maharaj said, "And what is the subject?" He said, "The Dasamula of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Dasamula." So that means 10 essential points of Krishna consciousness. This is a famous thing. So then Guru Maharaj's attention was aroused a little bit. So then Guru Maharaj explaining each point of that and then he said, and in the Nimbarka Sampradaya, Nimbarka Charja, he also made Dasamula.
Okay.
And then he's telling Nimbarka's Dasamula and comparing and contrasting with Bhaktivinod's Dasamula. So you can imagine, it was a fantastic talk. And that devotee, if you were studying for your PhD, this would have been food for you. You would have thought. But after about an hour, Guru Maharaj speaking for about an hour, then that devotee he bowed down to Guru Maharaj and left. And Guru Maharaj at that time he's almost blind, so he can see you, but only as an outline. Yeah, he can't see any features or anything unless you're very, very close to him. So that devotee left, and Guru Maharaj wasn't aware that he'd left, or at least it didn't appear that he was aware. But I was there, and maybe one or two others, and I was sitting next to where that devotee was sitting, And so then Guru Maharaj focusing on me, thinking I'm him. And he's telling so many things. And then he was speaking about, then he said, and this PhD and all this, we hate it, he said. We hate all that. Mundane scholarship and all that. What professor will say that Bhaktivinoda Thakur's Dasamula is good or bad, or, like this. And so all of these things he's saying. And then Guru Maharaj's secretary, Badrinayan Prabhu, he's sitting there, right, next to Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj says, "And what do you think about that?" He says, like directing that question to me, and I said, "Yes, Maharaj, of course." And Badrinayan Prabhu, Guru Maharaj's secretary, he starts laughing, and he was a big man, right? So when he laughed, his whole body was shaking, and Guru Maharaj turned to him like, "Why are you laughing? This is not like a joke or anything." And then Badrinayan Prabhu says, "Oh Maharaj, that devotee, he left an hour ago." Then Guru Maharaj started laughing. And he said, "Oh, so to whom was I speaking?" And he says, "Devashis." Then Guru Maharaj said, after a few minutes, Guru Maharaj said, "So that means that was for you also. You were meant to hear that. Maybe he was not meant to hear that, but you were meant to hear that." I wasn't studying for PhD or anything, but the point was not lost on me, I hope. So it's actually becomes like a mystical thing, the transference of Dibya Gyan, the knowledge between spiritual master and disciple, that is Dibya Gyan, and the real Guru, the Vaishnava Guru, the Krishna Bhakta, their only concern is with Dibya Gyan, not any other type of knowledge of this world. So then that transference is heart-to-heart transference between Guru and disciple. It is not, it's not like downloading data onto a memory stick from a computer or something like that, or even studying a book and transferring it from the book into your mind or your own brain. But it is something else. It is a heart-to-heart transaction between Guru and disciple, and it is the age-old method by which one attains spiritual knowledge. Dibya Gyan means spiritual knowledge. Dibya means divine, and Gyan means knowledge. So it is not like any other kind of knowledge in this material world, but the knowledge that will liberate us from this material world. Not only liberate us from the material world, but instate us in the service world, the service of the Lord. It will teach us. It is something unique and something of that which we have never experienced in this mundane world before. We have no experience by which we can compare that. If someone will ask you, you can't say, well, it's kind of like this or it's kind of like that, because it is something that is only experienced from the heart of the Guru to the heart of the disciple, soul to soul. And it does not require anything except John. Nothing is required except for the willingness of the Guru to give that to the disciple, and the willingness of the disciple to accept that from their Guru. That's all is required. So that is pariprashna, and pariprashna, pranipat, pariprashna, and sevaya. So we invoke the grace of Sri Gurudev through service. And no one can force a serving attitude upon any disciple. It must come naturally.
One time, I'm not mentioning anybody's name, but one time, one sannyasi was asking about one devotee. to Gurudev.
Yeah.
Oh, Gurudev, this person, this and that. So, what do you think about him? So he said, I don't know him. Gurudev says, okay, sannyasi said, yes, you know him. He every day give you garland. So he said, yes, I have seen him, but I don't know him.
Yeah.
Gurudev say, I respect him and I give him my...
Yeah, it is not, even that is no bar for the shishya to receive the grace of the Guru. When I stayed with Guru Maharaj, maybe 1985 or something like that, I was in the temple in Navadvip for like nearly 6 months, staying there. And I would come and Guru Maharaj would give some service to me, and I would come and every day as possible I'd visit Guru Maharaj in the morning, and he would ask me, oh, Devashis, Prabhu, how is your health? And I'm thinking, oh, some relationship with Guru Maharaj I'm getting, then and then after leaving, I came back to London, and then the next year I visited again to Guru Maharaj. And when I came, Sagar Maharaj was there, and oh, you've come, yeah, we've come. And he said, let's go and see Guru Maharaj. So he took me up to see Guru Maharaj. And Sagar Maharaj says, oh, Maharaj, Devashis Prabhu is here. And Guru Maharaj said, who is that? He said, you're not Devashis Prabhu? He said, oh, he's Swami Maharaj's Shishya? No, your Shishya. Oh, okay. He is from America with Goswami Maharaj, or where? No, from London. Oh, London. And he completely forgotten who I was completely, and I was feeling like completely heartbroken, right? Because I was thinking we would begin like before. He would be affectionate and everything with me, but he couldn't remember me, and I felt really bad, Then the next morning after the class, he said, does anyone have any question? And I said, what does it mean if the Guru forgets who the disciple is? I asked Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj became very angry. And he said, what of it? Like that, what of it? You think that it is some mundane thing, and Guru's memory is not so good, and he forget, then everything is over or something? What Krishna wants him to know, he knows.
Maybe because he lives in another world.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Who am I? I'm only some insignificant person. But
I think we could all become very hopeless at points like that.
Yeah.
But it's so vast and way 1 billion miles above us. I mean, like opposite ends of the spectrum. We really don't have any conception of just what Krishna consciousness in the spiritual world is.
That's right.
It's really
beyond
comprehension.
But they do,
Yeah,
and Krishna is in the heart of everyone.
Yeah.
And Krishna says, from me, forgetfulness or memory that comes. Then, what is necessary, that outward aspect of the Guru, where sometimes he forgets something, and that is just an apparent thing. It has nothing to do with you or him or your relationship or anything. That is something else, on a different plane altogether. So it is something like that.
More their external manifestation is more like a pastime, really, then, isn't it? But the internal manifestation is like Chaitanya Guru and Mahan Guru, they're actually connected you. Really, because it's only by Bhaktivinoda Thakur says their prayers of supplication to Krishna that are bringing us home. Yeah. Because Krishna listens to them, and Mahaprabhu listens to them.
Yeah.
All this person's trying so nicely, and
But remember that Krishna is fully omniscient, so he knows everything. So no one is forgotten by him, and as Guru Maharaj explained, that Guru is Krishna. The function of Guru is Krishna himself. Krishna says in Srimad Bhagavatam, Acharya mam vijanayat navaman yeta karhi chit. That I am the Acharya, my own self. Never think that they are an ordinary person, because everything that is godly is within them. So, we may see that, Like Guru Maharaj's eyesight, I said, in the last days he's almost blind. And, so maybe sometimes he's not remembering everything, or, but that is only the external thing. Guru Maharaj said, Guru means the inspired side of a Vaishnava. So all of the other human side, that is actually what gives some allowance for us to serve. So if Gurudev is, can't see properly, then we can explain something to him, or we can bring his eyeglasses for him, or whatever it may be. Give some opportunity for us to serve. So,
did you see in Facebook somebody put the photograph of Swami Maharaj and Guru Maharaj sitting together? But when Swami Maharaj was talking, and Guru Maharaj, he was in his kind of transcendental world. And when Guru Maharaj may be talking, and Swami Maharaj was chanting or something. So they live in a different world.
yes, of course.
So now and then they might be just connecting with devotee.
Right, yeah.
But Guru can lead you to Krishna.
Yeah, without Guru, there is no Krishna.
So Guru
That is the fact.
So
That is the fact.
like Arjuna, so
No, it is,
Actually, Guru Bhaktas, not Krishna Bhaktas. Yeah, so that's what it is.
but we shouldn't think that the one is divorced from the other.
Right, yeah.
That is completely connected. Who has faith in Guru and the scripture, then all knowledge of Krishna will come to them. So they are all connected. Guru, Krishna, scripture, sadhu, everything. They're all interconnected. They're
So
not.
Dharma has stages.
Yeah, they're not divorced from one another. That is very easily explained in Chaitanya Charitamrita and other places. So when we first come, we can say what is called Kanishta Adhikari. That means beginner. We are a beginner. We come to the temple, we see Krishna on the altar, and we are thinking, oh yeah, I'm praying to Krishna, he's hearing my prayer, and we're not so much concerned with Krishna's devotees, Krishna's, the other things. It is more direct, a more direct thing. But that is more or less imaginary. We see that sometimes. Oh, Krishna, I think he smiled at me today. You hear people say things like that, But that is our imagination, actually. Not to say that Krishna can't do that. He can if he wants to. Krishna can smile at you, he can give you a wink, he can, whatever he likes, he can do that. But he is not doing that generally. He is not doing that. Sometimes he is doing, in special cases, like with Shachi Gopal and, many Radha Raman in Vrindavan, and so many times we hear these things. But generally, when we see Krishna, we are only seeing the emblem of Krishna, the representation of Krishna in the temple. We are not seeing Krishna directly. That's why Guru Maharaj would say, don't think you are seeing Krishna, but rather think Krishna is seeing me. So although we may have some appreciation, oh, how beautiful, they've been dressed so beautifully, such beautiful flower garlands, so many things. But that is all outward, the outward aspect. We can only see marble, we can only see paint, we can only see, wood or whatever the outward substance may be. But with the eye of faith, we can understand, oh, Krishna is fully represented here. Not just represented, he is here. So, those who accuse us of being idolaters, that is because they do not have proper knowledge.
But we see like that.
We see like that, yeah.
That he is just Murti. But if Gurudev is standing there, it's real for him.
No, it is different according to your adhikar, according to your ability to see. But it is in the first stage, then it is more superficial. Just like if you go to someone's house and on their bookshelf they have a picture of grandma. Who is that? Oh, that's grandma. Oh, she looks like a very nice person. You have some idea who is grandma. But no one will say, that's not grandma, that's just some pigment and some chemicals and some paper, you foolish person. No, everyone will say, oh yeah, grandma, she looks like a nice, no one would think in that way. So similarly, when we see Krishna, picture of Krishna or Krishna on the altar, we think, oh, this is Krishna. This is how Krishna looks, this is how Krishna stands, or he plays the flute, or so many things. Then that's in the early stage, first stage, the Kanishta Adhikari stage. But as one develops their inner eye, then they're able to see Krishna with the eye of their faith. And then they understand that not just Krishna, but Krishna and his devotees. And that our connection with Krishna is always through Krishna's devotee. So, we don't come to the temple and offer directly something to Krishna. We give to the priest and the priest offers to Krishna. That is the method, because he's been deputized in that service. He's Krishna's servant. If you go to see the queen or someone, you won't give directly to her. You'll give to her servant. So in the same way, or the minister, like that. So in the same way, you give something to the priest, or people come, they leave their flowers or fruit or whatever there. The priest will take that, and then he will arrange that offering, or she will arrange that offering. So that is the way. But Saraswati Thakur, he told, it is not sufficient to pay a priest to worship Krishna for you. We see that, right? Especially when we are in India, many times we'll be invited to some house for a festival. They'll give some money to us, and also they may hire a priest to do some puja and thing like this, and they just pay for that to be done. It's a very common thing. And but Saraswati Thakur said that is not sufficient. You yourself must worship Krishna. Not just pay a priest to worship Krishna for you. You yourself must worship Krishna. Because you have an innate relationship with him. It does not require any intermediary as a priest. But it requires some awakenment of your consciousness to be able to connect. And that connection must be through his devotee, through Krishna's devotee. And so we are thinking, who is Krishna's devotee? That is Madhyamadikari. Madhyamadikari, he wants connection with Krishna. He wants to develop love for Krishna, but he is thinking, what is the method for awakening that love? And that is through the association and service of those whose love is already awakened to Krishna. Then some relationship with Guru is necessary. That means Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has given that right from the beginning. Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha Tata Bhajana Kriya, and so on. Starting with Ado Shraddha, who has a little faith. Then with that faith they will come, and Ado Shraddha Tata Sadhu Sangha. They will search out some sadhus. Sadhu means the holy people. So, as they say, birds of a feather flock together. What you're interested in, you must find the association of those who are also interested in that. So it is the same in every field of life. If you're interested in making model airplanes, you'll probably join the local modeling club and meet with the people who are also interested in that and discuss everything that goes along with that. You go to, near the temple in West London, sometimes it's very close to Heathrow Airport. And sometimes you go and you'll see, like, all these people plane spotting. They're standing, they've all got little notebooks and they're writing the number of the plane that's coming down, what model it is. There's a whole group of them together, and you think, like, what are these crazy people doing? What kind of pleasure can they get from that? We do not know, but something, because they're all there, they've got their flask of tea and their sandwiches, and they're all like a group, they're sharing that. So this is natural. Birds of a feather flock together. So similarly, those who are interested in service to Lord Krishna, then they'll try and find the association of those who are also interested in that, and keep their company, and swap notes and all the other things that people will do. So this is more the Madhyamadikari level. They know that yes, Krishna, he is everything, but Krishna is not by himself in the sense that he's not alone. Krishna doesn't exist in a vacuum. Krishna exists with his devotees, with his entourage. So then we try to make friends with Krishna's devotees, and through that, sadhu sangha, that is sadhu sangha, then we will get the proper vision with which to see Krishna. We'll get the vision with which to see Krishna. We'll understand. Oh, that is Krishna, but who's the girl with Krishna? Oh, that's Radharani. And on the left side, as we're looking, who is that? That's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is Radha and Krishna combined as one. Then, oh, okay, what does that mean? Then, some discussion, this is called Sambandha Gyan. Sambandha Gyan, the knowledge which we need to progress in spiritual life. Sambandha. So with Sambandha Gyan, and then when one understands the necessity of accepting a bona fide guru, then that then becomes Bhajana Kriya. Bhajana Kriya means the path of worship, but under the direction of a Vaishnava, under the direction of a qualified Vaishnava. So just like, if you become a surgeon in a hospital, they don't just give you a scalpel and off you go. When you have to do so much training, and then your first actual surgery, maybe you won't even do that, but you'll assist the qualified surgeon. And then when you actually do, the first incision, qualified surgeon will be there. A little bit to the left, watch that valve there, watch that artery, under the direction of who is already qualified. So spiritual life is also like that. Under the direction of the qualified devotee, we will make our attempt to serve Lord Krishna. Under their direction. This is an imperative thing, and this is what Bhajana Kriya means. And the result of Bhajana Kriya is Anartha Nibriti. So anartha means that which is an obstacle to our devotion. If there were no obstacle or unwanted thing within our heart, then automatically our heart would run to the lotus feet of Krishna, unchecked. But because we are full of anartha, then by following some process, we have to become free of the anartha nibriti. And then after anartha nibriti, then comes nishta. Nishta means firm faith. Before nishta, faith is chanchal. That means sometimes, yes, we like Krishna. Sometimes, I'm not so sure if Krishna's real or not, or is this, this means small faith, sometimes coming, sometimes going. And, I have so many things that I want to do in the world. No, but Krishna is the most imperative response. No, yeah, but, then. So this is wavering faith, flickering faith, chanchal faith. But after, when all anarthas are removed, and then one's faith becomes firm, that is called nishta. And after nishta comes ashakti. And ashakti means that any moment that you're not engaged in the service of Krishna, some pain you feel in your heart. Ashakti. And then after ashakti, ruchi. Ruchi means some taste, real taste for Krishna consciousness. But from the beginning of Bhajana Kriya, through Anartha Nibriti to Nishta, that is the real work. This is not over in a week or a fortnight or a few days. That is the main work. That sadhana bhakti is all about anartha nibriti. And that may be a lifetime's work, or many lifetimes' work. And then only nishta. Srila Sridhar Maharaj would say, nishta, nothing. It is nothing. That's not even the real beginning of, so it's a high thing. Krishna Bhakti is a high thing. It is, when we come, we think it is something very easy and very, maybe not so significant. Oh yes, Krishna, lovely. I love Krishna, and I like to chant Hare Krishna, everything's nice, but we will come to understand that attempt, the search for Sri Krishna, reality the beautiful, is not something that is, just a pastime, or just a hobby, or just something we do on the weekend. But it is everything. It is all consuming of our lives, and life after life. That is the path that we have undertaken. Krishna consciousness.
But scripture, they said, in olden time, people used to do tapasya, chanting, for many thousands and thousands of years. But here as well, same actually. When we are chanting, it's not on the first round we done, and we get realization or something like that. Maybe even a couple of life goes and still don't get the realization.
Yes, it's a fact. It is true. It is, but we have to be determined that until we get Krishna's mercy, we will not give up. We will not leave it. Oh, like in Aesop's fables, there's the...
It can't be quick result. You don't
Yeah.
get quick result.
In Aesop's fables, there's the story of the jackal, and he's trying to get the grapes, but he's jumping, but he can't reach the grapes. So when he realizes that he won't reach the grapes, they are sour.
Sour grapes.
They're sour grapes. Yeah. So this way also, chanting, oh, nothing happening, Oh, then it doesn't work anyway, Oh, this is just imagination. Someone said once in the 60s, when it was, 60s, 70s, when it was, the Krishna consciousness was considered a dangerous cult in those days. When I joined in the late 1970s, it was considered you become part of a dangerous cult, And they, in America especially, they used to kidnap devotees to deprogram them, Oh, you've been brainwashed into this thing, Then someone said, one of these deprogrammers, he said, it is just, repetition in the mind, this mantra, and it is just to make the mind weak. Then you might as well be chanting Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, as Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. But I say, try it. Try chanting Coca-Cola. Within an hour, you'll be pulling your hair out. You won't be able to do it. But how is it that devotees can chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, whole lifetime they can chant and never become tired of that? Even if they know that their chanting is not perfect, they can't leave that. But chant Coca-Cola for an hour or two and see, you will become mad. You will be tearing your hair out. Or you'll be going to the shop to buy some Coca-Cola.
Like saying Maha Mantra, at the time of that you can remember how
Yes, but only if you practice.
practice all that.
Only if you practice.
Yeah,
Then you can get...
There's something else, Devashis, the Guru Maharaj, sometimes he was asked, will we make it back in one lifetime? And Prabhupada sometimes encouraged feet very quickly. But Guru Maharaj said actually it's very rare for a disciple to go back in one lifetime.
Sure.
It's possible, but for us, it seems now then we just got to be in for the long haul, and if there's
At least you must be prepared for that.
yeah, you must be prepared.
You say one lifetime, but how many lifetimes already? You don't know, do you?
Yeah, okay.
Maybe last time you were also devotee, maybe time before, you don't know. But the thing is it's not about time. It's about grace. And grace can come to anyone at any time. If it is the will of the Lord, then in a moment it can come to you. If it is the Lord's will, if He wants to be gracious to you. But we should be prepared. If it is many hundreds of lifetimes, we're okay with that. That's all right. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he used to say that, his prayer is that. Maybe I'll be born as a Brahma, or maybe I'll be born as an insect in my next life. But my only prayer to you, Lord, is even if I'm born as a bird or a beast, that it will be in the home of your devotee. If it is in the home of your devotee, then I don't mind. It can be anything. So, we are beggars at the door of grace. We do not think, oh yes, I chanted 16 rounds every day for 30 years. Krishna must take me. Why must Krishna take you? What is that? It's not, all rights are reserved by him. He's under no obligation. Oh, I signed the contract and now he has to give me this, that or the other thing. No, he is fully independent. And we can see that someone just come a few weeks ago and they were soaring ahead of us in Krishna consciousness. And someone who's been many, many years still like plodding along, but seemingly not getting anything or getting anywhere. But that is all also superficial.
But Guru Maharaj's visa inspector.
Yeah, you see, what I have come to believe over the years is that although it is not easy to get the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, although that is true, but we are not dealing with an impersonal absolute. We're dealing with the personal absolute, and that person is the most kind, the most gracious, the most loving, the most forgiving, the most sympathetic. Then he knows our weakness. He knows everything about us better than we know ourselves. And he is merciful, and he made us to be with him, not just to suffer in this material world. So if we make some attempt, he will help us. He will help us. And in the face of eternity, what is one lifetime? What is 100 lifetimes? We don't know anything about that. All we know is what we have in our hand today. So we don't know the future, then we cannot say what will be. Guru Maharaj would quote Longfellow, British, poet. Forget the past that sleep. No, that's Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Trust no future, however pleasant. Let the dead past bury its dead. Act in the living present, with heart within and God overhead. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he wrote it in a similar vein. Forget the past that sleeps, and never the future dream at all. But act in times that are with you, and progress you shall call. So Guru Maharaj said, we only know what I have in my hand today. And tomorrow we don't know. Then with what I have in my hand today, let me serve Krishna. You may think, oh, I'll make some plan and become rich in the future and then use my wealth to serve Krishna. But you may find that in the future you never became wealthy and you never served Krishna also. So it doesn't matter whether you have wealth or not. What you have in your hand today, use that for the service of Krishna. And it is up to Krishna. What will be the future, that is in his hand. Do what you can today. Don't put it off till tomorrow. Because as we know, tomorrow never comes. tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. We only have what we have right now. Then let us try and utilize that in Krishna's service. And everything will be good. So, we can stop. Darkesh Prabhu, is ready to do arti? Okay. So we'll stop here today with your permission. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Rakak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Bhagya Ki Jai. Jai Chaitanya Saraswat Acharya Brinda Ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj Ki Jai. Samadaita Vaishnava Mandali Ki Jai. Kol Kartel Ki Jai. Shri Harinama Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Gaura